Hey everyone, this is Mike, and I'm here with Isaac,
Hey.
and we're here to talk about. Actually, that's not something that's not necessarily directly related to video games, but it does relate to video games in a small way. And it really has to do with the current ongoing mess that is the whole,
Warner
like,
Brothers situation right now.
yeah, it's a whole mess. I mean, we've been like keeping our eye on the whole situation for a couple of days now. We
Mhm.
didn't like obviously we didn't speak on it right away, but it's because it's an ongoing development thing. And when we previously heard about it, one thing that we did hear was the whole situation with Paramount Skydance wanting to launch a hostile bid for Warner Brothers, and it's a message that says like to finish what we started. CEO Ellison
Well,
tells,
I think it's important to sit down and take it back as how everything was developed.
yeah,
Now, originally in the beginning, Netflix was originally the current winner of the actual bid to
yeah,
acquire all of Warner Brothers' rights, including its movie, its distribution, its streaming rights, as long as its very iconic IPs. Then, out of the midst of nowhere in the night, Paramount Skydance came in with an aggressive all cash in offer to be able to
mm-hmm,
acquire all of those rights too, making almost the argument that if Netflix were to acquire the rights, that it would cause a little bit more headache to get through all the antitrust and monopoly
yeah,
situations through the government and stuff like that. Basically, really, at the end of the day, um, whoever ends up buying this, you can argue to a lot of issues and friends that the fact that it means that another studio is going to be acquired, a big fish eating little fish at the moment,
mm-hmm,
where it basically means less choice, um, um, political affiliations, and be able to control all the way
mm-hmm.
airwaves. Basically, even rising in price in streaming revenue. A lot of that's also on the table.
Yeah, it's a whole. Now, me personally
Yeah.
speaking, I didn't really have much to say at the first because okay, another corporate merger. What else is new? It's
Yep.
happened so much and so often that I don't even like blink an eye to it.
Pretty
Like
much at this
like
moment, this is kind of the
Microsoft,
rare thing at the moment. With the
yeah,
Microsoft, like I said, Activision situation,
in the
which is
EA
actually quite information.
situation,
And the
EA with
EAB bought Saudi
Saudis.
Arabia situation, which
Yeah.
I was also heard about. Even Saudis were also in that bid too for Warner
Yes.
Brothers earlier today, but I think they
Yes.
eventually
Yes.
either they backed out because they didn't want to be involved with antitrust situations with the United
Hmm.
States, which
Yeah.
is kind of interesting. With all that said, that's not what we're not talking about. It's actually a little bit more about their Warner Brothers video game industry section at the moment and all the developers. And
Hmm.
that being said, that would include all the games like Rocksteady, TT that does Lego, and most importantly, NetherRealm Studios that also does Mortal Kombat at the moment, which iconically both sides really don't know what they're actually going to do with their video game development if they even get
Yeah.
involved with their video games in the first place.
Yeah. Now before we continue, I just want to say if you like what we do here, please rate, comment, and subscribe. Now we do have an article here from PC Gamer. And does again, as he mentions, the whole situation with Warner Brothers Game Studios. The article basically says we actually didn't attribute any value to Warner Brothers Game Studios. Netflix boss says about their acquisition deal. They are relatively minor compared to the grand scheme of things. It kind of tells you the pretty dire state that it when it comes to just Warner Brother games for them to say something like that.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people would say like, no, they got Netherworld Studios and Hogwarts Legacy. It was really awesome games, and they
Lord of the
also
Rings right now, even Batman, the Lego situation right now, the Lego
yeah
franchise as well. Yeah.
they also have Rocksteady, and obviously they have a huge legacy of games, but at the same time they also produce just Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. That game was a massive, massive failure.
And then the multiverse game that unfortunately
And
got
multiverses
shut
that got
down
shut,
earlier this year.
by
So
Player First Games. Yeah, they unfortunate. I mean that it's kind of funny considering that how much energy they put into that game, especially into their final season when they released an update that actually fixed a lot of the gameplay issues that people are having with the game. And they said, like, is this some kind of cruel joke that you guys fixed the game right when it's about to die?
yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Talk
But
about
yeah,
ironing,
like in
but-
the article saying here, like again, like Netflix CEO Gregory Peters revealed that Warner Bros. Games, WB Games, was not assigned any value in the Netflix's 82.7 billion acquisition bid for Warner Brothers Discovery Streaming Studios and Studios division, describing it as relatively minor in the grand scheme of things. In an investor Q&A at UBS Global Conference, Peters acknowledged WB Games' great work in gaming, but noted they didn't factor into Netflix's value model, as it's focused on WB film, TV, and streaming assets like HBO. So basically, yeah, the deal does basically with the acquisition, that means that Netflix would get access to NetherRealm Studios,
Correct.
Rocksteady, Avalanche, the people that made Hogwarts Legacy,
Mm-hmm.
as well as many IPs, including like Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, and stuff
Matrix.
like that. Yeah, Matrix,
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings. Lots of legendary IPs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now Peters does suggest that WB Games still could boost Netflix's struggling game efforts because Netflix was trying to get into video games, but that was very terribly done. I don't even know a single thing that Netflix has published other than like Exploding Kittens, the game.
That is very, very true.
That's it. It's just like.
But even if that were to be the cue, like you said, this has never been Netflix or Paramount Skydance forte. Again, really, when buying out this is really to get a hold of the IP, the legendary libraries of all of these iconic intellectual properties right now. That's really their main goal at the moment, as well as even television rights and streaming rights to move to put. So I can understand their games not being the focus front. However, a lot of those games, like you said, has made a ton of money. Especially the Mortal Kombat franchise has made billions of dollars right now. There's value to a lot of those gaming franchise. Hogwarts actually did incredibly well in their IP situation. So I guess the really question is, moving forward, what I guess maybe let me ask to you, what do you think is the idea that do you think Netflix would, or let me switch this up. Between the two companies, if there's one, which company do you feel like is more better suited if they were to go to maybe actually build a video game industry or to focus more video game efforts within that?
DC and Hogwarts Legacy, absolutely. I feel like those two IPs together.
You know what? I think I messed up. Between the two companies that are bidding for Warner Brothers.
Oh, I'm not exactly sure what you mean by
like who do you think is better suited to be if they were to handle it?
Which the company? So you're saying
which company would
Skydance and Paramount,
correct,
or
Netflix?
Netflix. Skydance and Paramount probably. I think just because I think they're going back to business. Even though I know what you're about to say. Even though they have no experience with the gaming sector, I just do think that they understand the cinematic appeal of these games a lot more than modern Netflix. Because I feel like modern Netflix is are more a little bit too experimental when it comes to how they try to, like, it's kind of weird because like how they try to like focus on like how they try to focus their their licenses. Yeah, I think that Paramount's the lesser two evils. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I'm jumbling my words. I'm sorry to anyone who's listening to this, but yeah, I guess that I would probably give it to them just because I feel like they understand the cinematic appeal of these two IPs a lot more, and thus we're able to utilize that in a gaming form. Just because like they would say, if they would make like. Take the Harry Potter IP, they would probably focus on making more Harry Potter games or like remakes of old Harry Potter games or something like that. Because I'm sure a lot of people love like old remakes of like the EA style Harry Potter games that are very like good. I mean, maybe even like they would probably do a better job of giving the Quidditch game a boost, because I know that's been in development for a while. Haven't heard about that since. I was also invited to the test, but never got to actually play it. And obviously DC, like, I think they also understand the value of the DC universe, and seeing the resurgence of Marvel games, maybe they could use that copy what Marvel Games is doing and
Sure.
open up DC Games like a division and try to like, bolster that IP. At least they would be a lot better at it than Netflix, because we've seen what Netflix can do, has done with their gaming division, and it's not really good.
And I understand that, and that's to be fair, but at least Netflix has attempted a video game division, so
True.
at least they have
the
some experience
Yeah.
of going through it. So yes, granted they were not great at it in the beginning, but now be able to not only the companies and the development, you are able to kind of lean into that experience or that knowledge to be able to maybe fix some of the issues that they had building into their gaming industry. So to have that as a piece, to be able to go to Ed Boon or to go to one of these development companies that, like, if you want to be able to maybe work on your mobile division right now, to be able to build better games in the mobile especially, which they have, it's already established.
It's already established.
And they'll be able to have somebody there to kind of build on that. So that's why I say maybe Netflix has the better edge if they were able to sit down and go back into the gaming space. I think they've already experienced it. They failed at it. They now have knowledgeable people that can work on it, and they can get back into it and make a better example of moving forward.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, even though their efforts have been pretty bad as of as of now,
They've not been great.
It's not been great, but at least they have like the experience. You are absolutely right. I don't know what was my logic with the Paramount Skydance.
It's totally fine. Listen, both are bad. Let's just call it for what it is. Like, we're not excited about any acquisitions right now. Again, it's just fewer choices to consumer right now in a time and it means that even more acquisition, that means more consolidation of bigger groups. That means people are going to be losing their jobs again, maybe for stupid AI, whatever. I'm not excited for that, but just because of what's happening, it is very an interesting story to see exactly where these major IPs are going to right now, because like you said, they still make a lot of money depending on who they're happening. So with that also naturally being saying, 9 out of 10, I feel like what's probably end up going to happen is that these games are going to get licensed out.
Yeah. Yep.
And they're going to get licensed out to other companies that are more better suited right now. They'll just give you the license rights and stuff like that. That being said, I don't know what.
Well, I mean, obviously, don't break up the development teams you already have now. Don't break up NetherRealm, and don't break up Avalanche Studios, so they can let them continue working. Give them more money. Give them more like freedom. Maybe work with other companies within those development studios, and give them the energy they need to work at their best. Because you got all this money. And you're getting these IPs for a reason, because these are strong IPs that you want them to flourish and make a return on these things. So why not do the best you can to make these these things flourish? That's what I don't get with some of these companies. They just only they obviously want these IPs for the money, but they don't know what to do with them. And
that's always the biggest problem once always just an acquisition or a takeover. Yeah,
they always just give them because a lot of these suits think that just throwing money at a problem will solve the problem. But it's not like who you're working with is important when it comes to these game studios.
Oh yeah,
and
especially brand names too, like Ed Boon. You don't want to remove that guy away from NetherRealm Studios after an acquisition, because gamers see that.
And they immediately think that this is going to suck like a tremendous butt if you remove key people out of their roles. It just because you're taking the heart and soul out of the game and the game studio itself. Yeah, because if you a Mortal Kombat without Ed Boon is no Mortal Kombat at all, really. Yeah. So
no, I agree.
Just as much as some people are gonna hate me saying this, like a freaking Harry Potter without who is not a Harry Potter at all. As much as people want to argue that the franchise can do well without her.
Yeah. No, I understand. No, I totally understand. Opinions withstand. That being said, honestly, Zach, who do you think, if you in your idea, if this were to ever happen, in terms of companies like that, like who do you think would be able, like third publishers would be able to take on like the Lego franchise, or be able to do like another Lord of the Rings game right now? Is there anything that kind of pops at you at the moment,
Nah,
other than
not
the Matrix right at the moment?
not at the moment. Just simply because my mind is completely tapped out on Western game studios at the moment. I'm sorry. I know I want this. Obviously, I want Western studios to flourish, but right now they're kind of in a in a in a
Yeah,
in a in a weird state right now that I just
they're
kind
in a
of
weird funk right now.
I've just been turned off to them. My mind is just focused on the Asian studios right now.
And it does, like I said, it is very interesting that you bring that up, because it is really coming at the weirdest time of the video game industry at the moment, where, like you said, Western companies have just kind of been in a weird state, a weird funk in terms of development in games and stuff like that, in terms of whether affiliations in politics or where they're just games in general being developed at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, there was a pretty interesting article over at DEIDetected.com regarding the Western AAA industry is almost certain to crash next year, just because of the changes
Very
in
possible.
like the industry.
Yeah.
In fact, let me just look this up real quick. Yeah, it was an article from Ryder Raven. Yeah, the folks at Gothic Therapy wrote a pretty extensive article, and as well as a video that supports their articles, basically saying that the gaming industry is going to basically crash, or at least for the West, due to issues with the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, being like yeah, it's arriving next year, April 2026, and a lot of companies do not have the capability to pivot from this act, causing them to having to pay huge fines.
Wasn't it pushed from somewhere in Europe? Wasn't it?
No, it's a different act.
Okay.
The COPPA has been here for a while, around for a while, but the act, especially for YouTube, but now COPPA is going to hit like bigger industries.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Cool.
it's a huge mess. I mean, yeah, definitely check out the article. I'm sorry, something in my eye. Definitely check out Writing Raven's article on DEIDetective.com if you really want to know more about it, and also check out her video and his husband's video. Really, really good stuff.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, back on topic. Yeah, the merger is still ongoing.
Yeah.
I don't think the it's not set in stone yet. They're still bidding and trying to finagle this thing. I believe even people went as far as saying to try to get Congress to block the merger, block the bill. Don't think that's gonna happen.
No,
but
no.
It's a mess. It's a mess, and
it is a complete mess. Do you think there's any situation where once everything has settled, that one of these companies would sell these development studios? Because, like you said, this is not their strength. In most
likely. I mean, according to the article with Netflix saying that the game studios weren't a part of the weren't part of the strategy. Yeah, they might just sell things off.
After the acquisition,
almost certain that's like something is getting sold off.
Yeah,
which might be a blessing in disguise if they're going to give to someone that's more worthy. Then sure, go for it. But
again, going back to what you said about the whole Western situation and the developments right now, if they were to sell it to any of these companies right now, it's not like they're going to be able to do anything great with it.
Yeah.
Like, again, you even brought up, like you said, with Microsoft, with the Activision situation right now. They are losing the hemorrhaging money right now that they might not be able to get back due to the failure of it's Black Ops, but it's Call of Duty. Thank you.
I mean, I don't blame you. Like, Call of Duty is such a slump right now that most people even forget that it exists now. It's so sad.
Yeah, it's a game that didn't even sell well under Microsoft's brand. It didn't sell well even Xbox.
In fact, it went so far that they finally admitted that like Black Ops 7 did not sell well at all. Which is something they usually never admit.
No. and that which is a big blow. So yeah, no, it is a little bit concerning if this is to happen because you know, like you said, who's really good at the moment and be able to handle any of these franchises.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But
Yeah.
that's all really. I don't really have much else to say at that point.
I got you.
So, what do you think about this whole Netflix / Paramount like WB merger nonsense? Do you want Netflix to own WB? Do you want Paramount Sky / Skydance to own it? Yeah, just to tell us your thoughts. And if you like what we do here, please rate, comment, and subscribe. I'm Mike with Isaac, and we are saying peace. I didn't